The world falls apart in the dark of winter. Many of us have celebrated or tried to celebrate it, a time the carolers call the most wondrous time of the year. And it is, and it is not. Winter is cold and dark and filled with memories, both sweet and sour, that are hard to ignore in the small lights. The world falls together in the dark of winter. This is the time of rest and consolidation. The trees and the bears and the gentle rain tell us that we can recharge ourselves while the sun and moon continue in their courses. In other places and other times as we do now, winter stories were reenactments with fear behind them that if they were not done absolutely correctly, the sun would not return to the sky, and the days would not lengthen to allow our fields and orchards time to thrive. I know I was given that message that I had to be perfect when I was a little kid. Maybe you too. But we celebrate. We celebrate and we recognize the world's patterns. Right now, this annual turning of the year feels more fraught, more perilous than others. And oh, Lordy, just name your worry. Wars and oppression around the world, hate spewed from between our fellow citizens, the coming administration, the effects of human-made climate change, lax gun laws, rising prices, illnesses of our own or our loved ones, loneliness, hunger, anger, fear. It feels overwhelming. It is overwhelming. You are not alone. Take a look to your left. Take a look to your right. Grab a hand and squeeze. Feel the presence of this community. We are here together, come what may. When I must face a difficult and frightening time, I often think of this short passage, an epigraph of sorts, that begins Robert Hass's second book of poems. We asked the captain what course of action he proposed to take towards a beast so large, terrifying, and unpredictable. He hesitated to answer, then said judiciously, "I think I shall praise it." This passage is to me a reminder that I am not the first, nor will I be the last to encounter a large and unpredictable beast of my fears. As our days are hurling towards the beast of the coming year, is it possible for me to praise? What does it mean to praise that which we cannot admire and control? And a point of clarification here, a little parenthesis. I do not intend, nor do I think that this idea calls for us to praise any individual or administrative body. To praise a political situation feels improper at the least. At worst, it feels like acquiescence. And Timothy Snyder reminds us not to acquiesce in advance. Instead, look again at your neighbors in these pews. Remember everyone logging on from afar to live stream this morning. I give thanks for this community all the time. Every time I walk in the doors of UUCB, I am made to feel welcome. I am sure to find friends and companions, whether I've met them or not. I should say, or not yet. I know I am going to smile, laugh, feel nourished. I can cry here and feel the utter relief of belonging. Let me praise this community. Let's look also to the hills and lands and waters of the Bay Area. Praise the fog, praise the rain, praise you all for coming here in the rain. Praise the green that is already springing from the earth. Let me praise my neighbor's quince tree that yesterday still held 3 fruits from last fall, which were joined by a scattering of brilliant coral-colored, hopeful spring blossoms. Praise the bridges and the freeways that allow us passage towards each other. Praise our throughways and those who build and maintain them. Praise our water system and the clean, fresh water that comes into our very homes. Let's praise the farmers and vendors and cashiers and cooks who bring us our meals. Let's praise the way we can rely on each other every day to ease our living. But praise can be tricky. Can we find it in ourselves to praise these times? Can we praise the changing weather patterns, the storms that come unexpected, the way prices always seem to go up at the pump, or the pump itself, and the fuel drawn up from that long buried past? Can we praise the wars, the offense and defense? Can we praise our brethren who refuse to see beyond the soundbite? Our days will grow longer, and the times will ask more from each of us. Sometimes praise, sometimes hope feels like a fool's errand. For most of my life, I met the new year with gladness and excitement and the expectation that this year was going to be so much better. When I was a child, I was sure of it. My father taught me this. He was of the generation of John F. Kennedy, and his optimism, he shared the optimism for Kennedy's Camelot promised in the early 1960s. My dad's optimism outlived Kennedy. He hung on tight to it through the years, no matter what may come. In his optimism, he believed so much in tomorrow, it seemed, at times that he could not see the present. This year I'm scared. I want to run and hide. Some of my friends have said that they might just leave the country. But I got to ask, where can we go that is not also a part of our shared future, of our shared world? I think this is the key. No running away this time. We know more than any other generation that we are connected to one another. Our actions have significance. If you believe that the flap of a butterfly's wing can affect the weather across an ocean, how much more do our actions affect our world? Let us praise our willingness and efforts to be a force for good. Every action we take has meaning. If we can join together and help communities large and small, healthier, and become more equitable and more sustainable. People gather in churches for so many reasons, as many as I think, well, at least as many as the people who are here today. We gather for community, companionship, to work together for social justice, or simply to sing. We gather to be inspired and to reach what is deepest in our hearts. And some of us, maybe most of us, come here to heal. I remember the first few Sundays I came in, I sat way in the back and let my emotions swell in ways that I couldn't do in my everyday bustle, even in Berkeley. I could cry in those back pews and feel safe and begin my own soul's healing. Across our world and through time, people have told stories about healers. And it is very common for the healer to have first been wounded. The ancient Greek story of Asclepius, the Inuit spirit Sedna, even the stories of Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad all tell of wounds suffered by the people who went on to heal. To heal others, we must first know what it is to be hurting, to understand what it is to be vulnerable, to feel lost or forgotten. This understanding is our conduit to others. When our own healing has progressed such that it no longer blinds us to the plight of others, we can reach out and pass on the lessons of hope and of wholeness. If we would praise our coming days, let it be our work of healing each other that is our song. May it be that this leads us forward. There will be days when we will feel inadequate to our time, and that is when we need to reach out the most. When I was first here at UUCB, Houston Smith, the wonderful scholar of religions and one of my personal heroes, sorry about that thump, used to give a personal theology talk every year in September. And I remember one in which he started talking about one aspect of the symbolism of the Christian cross and his view of the differences between his traditional Methodist church and his wife Kendra's church here at UUCB. For a minute, he used his frame to make an image of the cross. First, the vertical reaching for the divine, rising from earth to heaven, from heaven to earth, he said, was more like his church. But the horizontal reaching out from person to person and onward was more like UUCB, Kendra's church. He said he didn't know any other denomination that had so wide a reach towards all of humanity. This reach, this desire to give healing and hope is what our times and our communities need from us right now. Let us praise the efforts to heal through connection, which has drawn us here. The world is gonna need us. Wounded healers, healers nonetheless. We are going to need the practical, caring individuals, the wise communities, the networks of understanding and initiative. You and me, all of us together, this is our time. May it be so.